Hope you can hear me okay. Alright, to pick up where we are on this build. So the last time y'all seen, last thing I posted was the commercial trailer tease of
Heather Bunch says, hey.
Hello, Heather Bunch. Appreciate you saying that you can hear me. Hopefully it's coming in clear over there. It looks kind of okay on my preview screen. Of course, it's a little ways away. Anyway, so yeah, last
Heather Bunch says, we can hear you okay.
Good deal. The last time we, one of the last videos you've seen with the dashboard over here, that's in the little screen right there. It had all the stuff where I was mocking it up, make sure everything fit, make sure the holes were the right size, and all of that. And as you see right now, it's all torn apart because we have to stain that wood. I'm not going to leave it the bare wood color. It'll brown after a while or kind of gray, and that's not what I'm looking for. It'll kind of weather. I don't like that look. So we are going to stain it. My next video that I put out was a little trying to get an idea of what y'all thought about what colored wood stains we could go for. Now, of course, the camera is going to make this look a little different than what it is in real life. This is just an oil base Bombay mahogany. I like this color. I like how it brings up the tiger stripe in it. It's just a little brown and a little dark for me. You got to remember that I'm going to be using this dash and it's going to be dark. Like I stream, it's really pretty dark in the room that I stream in, and I only use spotlights that are going to be spotlighting on my face and not necessarily from behind me onto the dash, because that would give me glares on the LCD screens and all that other stuff. So anyway, this would be really dark. I don't think this, it looks cool. I like the real good striping, but I don't think we're going to go with this one. So the next one was this here. This might look all the same, but it's actually I tried in different shades. So the very top is one coat. Let's see if I can get this in the camera where y'all might be able to tell the coats. Might be too hard. The camera might just be making it all one color, but it's a clear difference in person. One coat, two coats, three coats. One coat is kind of light, and obviously the bottom coat is more of a blood red color. But you see that the grain of the wood almost disappears in this sample. You can barely see the grain of the wood. So that was a negative point on that. It lost points on that. The next one was one coat of the mahogany, what do we call it? The Bombay mahogany, I believe. Yeah, oil-based Bombay mahogany. One coat of the Bombay mahogany and one coat of the crimson, which, FYI, this is Minwax, the wood finish, semi-transparent, water-based crimson color wood stain. Anyway, one coat of oil-based Bombay mahogany and one coat of the water-based crimson. And the difference, I don't know if if it's picking up on camera or not, but there's a difference on the left and right side on all of these. I tried I don't have it in here, but it's a spray poly, oil-based poly, and the other side is this water-based polyacrylic. But anyway, so you could see that it did help bring out the striping a little bit versus this. There's a clear difference in how much striping it pulls out. The other option was a distressed look of the crimson, where I just took and just kind of smeared just a little bit here and there of the mahogany rather than a full coat over the whole thing. And then I did, however, put a full coat of the crimson over it. So that's why you kind of get a little dark spot here, and a little bit here. And this has more of a, it's got a little pinkish tint to it. And it don't look bad, but it's, once again, not what I was looking for. But I thought, you know what, that's enough samples. We're going to go with one of them. We're just going to pick one and go with one. That's why I asked for y'all's opinion to see what y'all thought. A lot of folks were saying the mahogany, Bombay mahogany. I like it. It's just too dark for me. So I went and put on my thinking cap a little bit more and tried doing a little bit more research of what other types of wood staining there was, what all's available, what else could we do with what we have. Because I didn't want to spend no more money on stain. We got enough of that over here. So what can we do? And I came across something called, I think I'm probably going to say this wrong, Shangsuban. It's a technique where you burn the wood, you basically sand the wood down after you char it, and then you put on your coats of stain. And that's a whole new process I've never done before. I actually had to go, I did have to buy something to do this, but it's something I can use around the house anyway. It's one of those butane butane torch lighters, I guess you could call it. And anyway, so hold on, I have a alarm going off in my background. Stop.
Michael Blyven says, bucket painted black.
I hear you. Well, what's going on, Michael Bliven, HTF? Appreciate you stopping by for a view. Anyway, yeah, so painting it black, that was another option. I actually have some vinyl that I was thinking about doing the black in. It would definitely be Midnight Rider.
Michael Blyven says, juke it up.
Juke it up. I hear you there. So here's what we ended up going with. Now this is a sample. I don't know how well y'all are going to be able to see this, but this is what it looks like. See how it looks in the camera. There you go. It's almost like a blood red. Let me get a little closer to the camera for you. It's a blood red. As you see, I did two different things here. That's why there's a lighter spot there. It really pulls out the color of the, let me get over here so you can see better. The color of the grain, as well as the color of the crimson. This is like blood red. It almost looks like a liquid blood with two coats of polyacrylic on top of it. So I call it tiger's blood.
Michael Blyven says, yeah. Looks good.
Yeah. Looks real good, I think. Appreciate it, HTF, Michael. So anyway, guys, that's what we're going to end up going with, is this color right here. It's not as dark as the mahogany, but a little darker and not as pink as what this comes out to be. So hopefully y'all like it. I think it's going to look really good. I'm going to try to stand this up. So as we go.
Michael Blyven says, HTFFFFFF.
That's right. Use something else. Hopefully you're having a good night tonight, Michael. Where y'all can still see it as we go along.
Michael Blyven says, oh yeah, selling slinging dum-dum.
Yeah, I bet you it's busy, busy, busy. I sure could go for one of them stuffed crust pizzas right about now. Come on. So there's kind of the best way I can get a side by side. For y'all, so y'all can see. You see there's a clear difference here. Get the wood grain look of the mahogany tiger stripe. But you also get the red color that we were going for. Set these samples over here. And now
Heather Bunch says, tiger's blood.
Yep, tiger's blood. This reminds me of like that snow cone. It's like my favorite flavor, snow cone, tiger's blood. Oh, it is almost snow cone time again. We're almost there. Anyway, so the first process obviously was taking the dash panel pieces off. We had to take everything out of the dash again. I didn't want to bother y'all showing y'all that. Now I will do a video as we're putting everything back together and putting it in the dash. It's not going to happen tonight. Tonight we're going to be doing some staining. But I will have a video of that because I'm sure y'all are interested. Some of y'all are interested in that process. But what I've done already so far is I have taken all that stuff out and I went through the process of charring the wood and sanding it and prepping it to get it back ready for the staining. And it's going to look a little something like this. Now,
Heather Bunch says, yummy stuffed crust pizza and snow cones.
that's right. That's what I'm talking. Pizza and snow cones. HTF, I'm going to need you to come in clutch with that, all right? So, as you see here, we got some lighter areas. That's going to be the lighter areas of what's going to come through as that blood, that liquid blood color. Almost like the color of my shirt you see there. And then this darker area is going to come in super dark brown or almost black. So that's going to look really good, I think. I will also say something to be careful of if you decide to do this. Once I started charring on this, because this is a thinner wood, so I originally was going to do this the same thickness as my top up here, but I was like, no, let's do something a little thinner, easier to put holes in, easier to work with. Well, by going thinner, you have to be careful because whenever you do that, let's see if I can see it on my preview, see if it comes up. It does try to warp the board ever so slightly. See if you can see that. Anyway, it's got a bend in the middle just a little bit from warp. The good thing about the warp that it does have, my mounting points are on the bottom and the top. And the other good thing is that since I did decide, not only did it warp because it's thin, but it'll also easily lay back down because of that same issue of it being thin. So I don't think that's going to be a problem. But that's that piece, and here is the other piece. And as you see, they're real close to the same on the charring. You want these to be kind of close to the amount of char that you do, so they'll kind of come out and look relatable. You wouldn't want one to be really dark, and you wouldn't want one to be really light. So these are real close to being the same amount of char. What we're going to do first is it's going to get 2 coats of the crimson, and then it's going to get no mahogany. It's going to get 2 coats of the polyacrylic. We're going to be trying to put it on with these sponge rag things. I will say, if you do decide to do this technique, whenever you go to sand it back down, be sure you're outside, because that soot goes everywhere. It's going to be on everything and be everywhere. So be prepared for that. We'll put the poly will go on with this brush. I'm going to put the stain on with the sponge rags, and the poly will go on with the brush. Be careful shaking your paint can up like that. You never know when it might decide to come open on you. So what does everybody have planned for the weekend? I think it's going to be real stormy over here around this area. Some of this also doesn't bother me.
Heather Bunch says, don't need paint everywhere, LOL.
No, I sure don't. I'd be mad as a mug if I got paint all over my game room carpet. I would not be happy. I would probably end the video after that. As somebody would say, I think you'd get punched in the face or something like that. Alright, so we're just stirring this up, making sure that we got a good...
Heather Bunch says, birthday party and readings, maybe get a stuffed crust pizza and chill, LOL. Heather Bunch says, I wouldn't blame you, LOL.
Alright. Birthday parties. Oh yeah, we got birthday party for the niece, right? Yes. So that's going to be fun. It's going to be her first birthday. So we're going to go over there and spend some time, see how things are going. I'll find a safe place to put this paint stick, because I don't want it to get on anything, but yet I also don't want to have to keep it on the table either. So we're going to put that in a bag. Put it in a bag.
Heather Bunch says, yep, it will. I can't believe she is 1 already.
Yep, 1 year old. Is it 1 years or 1 year? Come on. Years. 1 years. Alright, so whenever you're putting on stain, you always go with the grain of the wood. And this grain happens to go that way. The rag will go, it kind of drags across here with no hiccups. Now going this way, see right there, I got a little, just by going that little bit, it's grabbing threads off my rag. So we're going to go this way with it. And this is not 100% smooth. I'm not making a bar top out of this. It's just going to be a dash panel, and I want it to look good and function well. So, we're going to put this stuff on here, and this stuff dries really quick, so I'm going to have to be kind of quick with it as I do it. I'm probably actually going to be standing up while I do this. I'm not going to talk a lot while I do this. I don't want to mess nothing up. Got to concentrate. Come on. The longer it sits on there, it's not going to hurt anything. It just will be a little bit darker. And I don't know if that's the look we're wanting to go with right off the bat. We're not worried about it going over the edge a little bit. That's no big deal. We're not looking for perfection. We're just wanting this color to get on here. And then, as it sits there for a little while, we're going to wipe off all the excess with another sponge. If it drips here and there, that's no big deal. We're going to be putting 2 coats on of this.
Heather Bunch says, "You have good staining techniques, LOL."
Shoot, I guess so. I appreciate it. I'm just, I haven't done a whole lot of staining of anything. I've done a little bit here and there on very small amount of projects. I don't really do a whole lot of woodworking. I like doing woodworking, but I don't do a whole lot of it. I'm trying to go through and do this fast because, like I said, we want this to look good. We're not looking for perfect. A little bit of over drip is fine. Try to keep it going the same way. Get any spots that you missed. Get the edges. Well, I'm really not too worried about the edges, y'all, because I have that piece that's going to go around the outside.
Heather Bunch says,
Alright.
"Obviously that has changed with all the woodwork you've done recently, LOL."
Right? I have done a lot here recently. Alright, so now we're just going to take this and we're going to drag it across, smearing what all we just put on here. Basically wiping it up. Good thing about this, now I would say yeah, use gloves. I don't care. I can wash my hands later. I ain't scared of that. But the good thing about this is that it is water-based stain. So that means it just wipes off with a little soap and water. Alright, so our first coat of this is done. we're going to sit here for just a little while. Give that a second or so to soak up. Got me a little wet wash rag here for in between coats. So as you see, already that blood look is coming in real nice. Got a little glare on it from the my light. But man, what are y'all thinking about that so far? Does that not look awesome? Doing this technique, the grain actually has texture. You can almost see it in the shadows on your camera, on the camera right now, where parts of the grain is taller than other parts of the grain. The darker grain is taller. No, the darker grain is shallower than the lighter grain.
That looks good.
I think it looks real good. We're going to be putting one more coat on there though, because what happens is this will actually soak in and this will be really, really light. And we want it to stay that color that it looks now. So by putting one more coat on, we'll get that color and we'll lock it in. And all I'm doing right now is I'm just looking for the majority of my wet spots to kind of go away. That real shiny when you can tell it's wet. Some of this in this deeper areas, that's not going to go away anytime soon because it's thick, you know. We got to get it out of there. And also see here we need to, I'm not going to worry with it now, but I'll make sure I get that a little better on this edge where I kind of have a line here. So, all right, we're almost already ready for the second coat. I'll do this quick. Now, I don't know how long you're supposed to wait between coats. I'm impatient when it comes to painting and staining. They'll be talking about like wait 2 hours, wait 3 hours. No, we ain't got time for all that. We're gonna put this on there. We're gonna wait, give it a second to think it's dry. Then we're gonna put another coat on, and then we're gonna sit there and wait for a little while longer after that. Obviously, you don't want it wet when you put a poly on there. So I'll probably come over with a light blowgun heat on low, just to kind of speed up the process a little bit. But I guarantee that these two pieces during this video, it's going to get 2 coats of poly on it before we're done. So it is what it is. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put the second coat on here. If I'm doing this wrong, let me know. I'll read your comment, but I'm still going to do it anyway. Come on. No. I don't think there's really no wrong way to do anything. You know, somebody did it the wrong way at some point, decided, said, hey, if we burn this, look what it does. I'm sure nobody in their right mind would have thought about burning something before staining it. You know, who does that? Once again, I'm throwing this stuff on there. I got a whole big old can of this. I got plenty of it, so I'm not trying to be scarce with it. They didn't have the min wax of this in the small whatever, the smaller piece like these. They didn't have that. So I had to get, I think this is a quart. I had to get a whole quart of it. And I think those are pints, right? Maybe. Oh. Anyway, I had to get a big one. So I don't know what I'm going to do with all the leftover once we're done with this. So if this was y'all's project, what color would you have done? So I was really close to thinking about doing a blue color, like super close. But I landed on red. I don't know why. I like red better. Some of the blues look real nice. Real deep blues. Make sure you get all the pieces. So where this wood's charred, it doesn't take the stain as well. That's why it stays that dark color. All right, there's the end of our second coat. And just like the first coat, we're going to go back over it and we're just going to smear it all off. Try to stay consistent with it. I'm kind of giving it a good bit of force as I'm wiping it. The sponge rag. If you don't have a sponge rag, you don't have to have this. You could use just some old rags. Like I actually, on that test piece y'all see me show a while ago, I actually used an old t-shirt, old white t-shirt that I cut up and did both of these steps with those pieces of white t-shirt. I'm gonna swap out my white rag here. That was getting a little messy for me to get in them screw holes. The less it's caked up, the faster it'll dry for us here in a little while. We're getting around that knot, all them cracks and crevices. Screw hole. If it gets on my table, I'm not too worried about that. Once again, this is water-based and it will just clean right on up.
Heather Bunch says, another name you could call it is vampire's blood.
Yeah, vampire's blood's nice. Because it is bloody looking. Come on. All right. So there we are, finished.
Heather Bunch says, or Dexter LOL.
Dexter, yeah. All right. So I'm gonna go rinse out these in the sink real quick and I'll be right back. I'll let it drip on there like I just did. You don't need things screwing up this for us. We're good enough at doing that ourselves. All right, what y'all think so far? I'll be right back. So I'm back. So I wanted to keep this one because we're going to need two, and I didn't need them all soaking wet. Anyway, just wash that out with water. Of course, it's a little pink color, but once this dries, we will be able to use this again if we wanted to. Okay, we'll put those way over there. Way over there. Alrighty. Alright, so as this is drying, this looks like it has a good color to it, so we're going to set it to the side while that dries. And we'll be ready for this one. This one, I had to put some spacers back here to be able to put, to hook our little HVAC knobs up to, because it wouldn't, the screw holes would not go all the way to the wood, so I had to have a spacer for that. It just shouldn't affect us in this next step at all. We're going to start with this one. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to glob that on there. We're globbing a really good bit of it on there. And we just throw it on here. If y'all like what y'all see, be sure to hit that like button on this video. If you're stopping by for views and you see this, be sure to also go over there to OpenTheGrate page. I'll try to link it, or somebody else can go find that share link and throw it in there in them comments. That'd be awesome. But go over there, add and go follow OpenTheGrate. I'm trying to get up to at least 100 followers over there so I can start doing my lives from that channel. And if you've watched any of my recent lives, I say that a lot, I guess, but I mean, I don't know any other way to get followers from this other than advertise on this channel here.
Bunch says, OpenTheGrate.
Yeah, if you go over to OpenTheGrate's page, and if you find it, you should be able to click a share button and copy that URL and throw it in the comment section for me if you wouldn't mind, Heather. Let's see here. Once again, I'm trying to hurry through this process because we want that first coat to be pretty light. Moving all over the place. Get back here. Let's see.
Heather Bunch says, link.
Yeah, there it is. Appreciate you putting that on there for me, Heather. That helps me out. I always forget to do it. By the time I start my live, I try to get over here and start talking as fast as possible. Alright, so now we're with that. We're ready to wipe this first coat down. We're just taking the dry sponge and we're going with the grain. I always go with the grain. Sometimes I have to remind myself because I'll be trying to go around these circle things and curves with the curvature, and you don't want to do that. You want to keep it going basically from this, from my perspective, is from right to left. To me. To y'all, it would be from left to right.
NP.
No problem. Appreciate it. Alright, so there's that first coat. Alright, we're going to sit here for a second, let that first coat think about itself. And this stuff is still kind of wet. There's really not a whole lot of difference between the first and second coat, but I guarantee, trust me, when it dries, it makes a big difference, and it'll be really, really light. I don't know if you can tell that much on the camera if it picks it up as well, but it does make a pretty significant difference. Splinter out. If you get any big splinters in your rag, be sure to pull those out. You don't want it to leave streaks on your job. Alrighty. I'll let this sit just a little while longer. Well, this weather's been kind of crazy here lately. They said something about there was a tornado that came through Jefferson yesterday. Hopefully it didn't tear nothing up out that way. Oh yeah, that's looking pretty good. I think what you really try to look for when you're doing this technique, they say, is you're looking for 3 distinct colors of the shade you're working with. So you have the really dark, and then a kind of a medium, and then of course the light. And so far,
Bunch says, it's been rainy the past few days.
It has been raining quite a bit actually. So far the 3 colors I can clearly see, and I can see it in y'all's camera view from here. It kind of goes from that real dark to a smoky dark red to a light red. So we do have our 3 colors that are distinct in variation, so that's good. All right, I think we're ready to do our second coat now. Now I guess we could probably do this all in one coat, right? If we just let it sit there longer. I don't know if this is more of a safer way of doing it by splitting it up in two coats like this. So you don't get it too dark. Because if you go too dark, you can't go back. And I ain't talking about the other reference. But definitely on this, there is no going back. You would have to sand everything down and start all over again. You'd have to sand it all down. You'd have to go back and re-char, flame it up, and then do all of your stains all over again. So
Heather Bunch says, that's what she said, LMAO.
exactly. I wasn't gonna go there. But anyway, I got a lot of extra drip right here. When you go in these edges, it's like wringing out the sponge basically on the edge of the paint can. It kind of just draws it all up on that edge. What was it called again? Shangsuban? I don't know. Y'all have to look it up. If it's a technique you're thinking about doing, if you put in there wood burning stain, it'll eventually get you almost immediately to Shangsuban technique. I think what it translates to is...
Heather Bunch says, I like the darker one to your side.
Well, it'll get dark once we're done here. They will both be real close to the same. But yes, I like it too over there. It's looking good. Anyway, if you look through that, it'll eventually get there. I think it means burn cedar wood. Burn cedar wood in translation. I don't know. At least that's what I heard on the interwebs. Alright, we're going to go ahead and just wipe this back down. Y'all know the drill. Just taking what we have here. This one I'm putting a little more on the inside because of installation. You know that's going to need some. Come on, let go of my rag. Gotta get in that screw hole. Let go of my rag. Some splinters trying to grab my rag. Not the Ninja Turtle splinters. I guess whatever technique or route you decide to go, the main thing is with any type of stain is consistency. Stay consistent with what you're working with so you get near results, near the same results. Y'all, that's looking real nice. I hope it's looking as good on camera as it is in real life, because this looks nice.
Heather Bunch says, which Ninja Turtle is your fave?
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm sure a whole lot of folks would go with Michelangelo. I think he's the coolest. He's the orange one, in case y'all that don't watch Ninja Turtles. I don't know if there's anybody out there in the world that doesn't. But anyway, I've always thought Michelangelo was the most awesome. He's always had the best attitude. Anyway, I thought he was always the best. Alright, y'all, so there's both coats, and we're done with the pigment color of the stain. Be careful doing this because you can splash yourself if there's any paint or stain in the rim of the can. Sorry if that's loud, but I got to get it on there.
Heather Bunch says, I think I like the purple one the best, LOL.
Purple one, that's going to be Donatello. He has the big stick. He's pretty cool. I like him too. All right, I'll be right back, guys. Alright, I'm back, y'all. I could probably wait till later to do that, but go ahead and do it so it make sure that I get most of that paint out of there, or that stain. That way I can still at least get some use if I ever decide to do some more projects, I don't have to go out and buy another $8 worth of sponge rings. Now I gotta find a place to plug this up. Come on, come on. Alright, so what this is just a heat gun. I'm going to put it on low heat just to kind of speed the process up a little bit of drying. Probably shouldn't do this, but like I said, I've done it on my samples and it didn't affect them, so it is what it is. Before we do this though, I will take a little piece of rag here and we're going to kind of smear down any big blotchy areas. So we don't make a bigger mess later. As long as it's smeared out, this stuff dries really fast. The water-based stuff, super fast drying. Now, if this was oil-based, yeah, we would be here for a while, guys. Like, I would probably have to wait till tomorrow at the earliest before we even thought about putting a poly on here. Now, on the can, it probably tells you to wait 2 hours. Like I said, I'm impatient. It's my money and I need it now, is what J.G. Wentworth says. So, just like this, we want results now. We don't want to wait. We want our money right now. So, we're going to trade places. Since this one's been sitting here longer, I'll throw that one over there. Getting my fingers back.
Heather Bunch says, yes, that you are for sure impatience, LOL.
I am. I ain't got time to be waiting. Who has time to wait? I don't have time to wait. It already seems like there's not enough time in the day as it is. By the time I get any extra time to do anything that I enjoy, it's time to go to bed.
Heather Bunch says, you have all the time to wait, LOL.
No time. Ain't nobody got time for that. I didn't grab no shoes or nothing, Jesus. Alright, let's see here. I'll finish cleaning this up later.
Heather Bunch says, LMAO.
Right. These little screw holes are giving me difficulties. I think we should be good though. I think that'll be good. Alright, so let me get a drink.
Heather Bunch says, hey, you have stain all over your cardboard, LOL.
Yeah, it looks like I've done been in here doing a Dexter scene. Speaking of Dexter, all right, I'm gonna put the microphone over here away from this because this might be loud or annoying. Anyway, so what we're gonna do here is we're not gonna sit in one spot with this. We're just gonna kind of go over it real lightly.
Hey, Dexter is awesome though.
Right, he is. He's cool. We're going to go over this real lightly. We're just trying to get a lot of that wet. Anything that looks shiny from being wet still. Just trying to get it to kind of dry up a little bit before we go with that poly. You don't want to get too close. You don't want it to start bubbling up or anything like that. Right now it's on low heat, which is like, it's like a kind of like a really hot blow dryer on super high or high. Like I wouldn't put my hand any closer than that. All we're trying to do is just basically speed the top layer drying a little bit. So like right now, this, I think we're good to go right now. And I'll go one more pass over with this dryer. Oh, there we go. Make sure there's no... It's another thing, if you do this outside or in a garage or something, make sure you don't have no fans on. If you're doing it outside, you got to be careful because you're going to have a lot of debris flying around. Just even inside, there's that little bit of debris that shows up on here every now and then. This piece right here, y'all, is ready for a coat of poly. Now, poly, it don't take long at all for it to dry. So we're going to poly this one piece. We're going to let it sit for a second. We'll probably even put on our second coat of poly before we go to polying that piece. Alright, we should be good. Now, like I said, we're going to be using a soft bristle brush. Make sure.
Bunch says, shake, 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 shake.
Yep, shake, 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 Sonora. The old Beetlejuice song. We're going to be using a soft hair brush. Make sure you don't have any loose hairs. I've used this one a couple times on all of my samples that we did. And so far it's been doing really good. I wash it out with water when I'm done every time. And I haven't had any issues with it. It's not an expensive brush. It's
Heather Bunch says,
like $3 or $4.
shake your body right.
Shake your body right. That's right. Now, I will say, in our process of doing the poly, it will probably drip over the edge, and that's fine. Just so make sure that you have your board positioned to be prepared for that. If it does, if it gets on whatever, it'll wipe up just like the stain with water and soap. But if you got it on carpet or something, I wouldn't even want to try that, because this is going to kind of get hard. This is a gloss polyacrylic. But yeah, this stuff will kind of get hard and jelly if you don't get it up before it starts to dry. It's kind of milky looking. It's kind of a medium consistency. So I'm going to try to move my brush around so I can make sure I get it in between them little hairs there, the middle hairs, so we don't have a dry center. Stand up again to do this part. And just like the stain, we're going to start, really don't matter which end. I'm actually going to start at the bottom or towards y'all and work my way this way, so I'm not having to lean over the wet stuff. There it is. What do y'all think so far? And we're just going to go strokes, left to right strokes. As long as they're with the grain. Don't matter if it's left or right. The reason we go with the grain is so it can go in these little, like I said, there's a little bit of texture in this grain. It's not 100% flat. Whenever we did this charring process, it does raise up that grain. There is a self-leveling agent in this poly, so it will begin to kind of level itself out as it goes. I don't know if y'all can see it on camera, but it almost has like this bluish hue to it, where it's the thickest and the wettest. Now, it dries pretty quick, so you don't want to rebrush over something that's been sitting there for just a little while. Like, I probably am not going to go back over any of that on my right side until this first coat.
Heather Bunch says, no, can't really tell.
Okay. Well, it's got a bluish tint to it. I don't know if y'all have ever used puzzle glue. If you ever use puzzle glue, it's kind of like that same situation with that. Who uses puzzle? I do. I have. See right there where it's dripping. It's not a big deal. And it's where it's real lumpy right here, and it has a lot of texture. I kind of got to cake it in there so it can work itself into those valleys and cracks of that knot in that wood grain. All right. Alright, so there's our first coat of poly. Make sure we got it where it needs to be got. Anyway, so we're going to let that dry for just a little while. We'll probably hit it with this heat gun for a second. I'm going to put this poly, I'm just going to kind of squish it in this bag, this plastic bag I've got back here, so it just keeps it kind of where it's wet. On this, we're just going to kind of let it just give it some air movement just to speed the process up just a little bit. You could probably be fine with one coat of poly, but I think 2 coats is just the right amount to give it that. I was wanting a kind of a good high gloss, and that's for it to have that high gloss. It takes 2 coats, at least 2 coats. And the same thing here, we're going to just kind of do this until I don't see any of the super shiny wet spots, and then we'll go hit it with a second coat. Kind of moving it around. Because remember, we got these spots that we got on the cardboard right here. We don't want it to stick to our board. Just gonna dry those up real quick. Alrighty. So it's still kind of tacky. Ooh, definitely don't want that. Where that would go, so we're going to wait a little bit longer. It's taking a little bit for this first top coat of poly to dry. Tell you what, it's taking a pretty good bit. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go set this off under a fan to speed the process up a little bit while we work on this other one. We'll get the other coat of poly on that one. Alright, that's over there on the streaming side so it can be dry. And we'll go ahead and move along to this one. And this one I don't really have a way to get it where it's not going to be covered. The table's not going to be covered 100% anyway. Oh well. Alright. Same thing here. We're going to start at the end closest towards y'all and we're going to hit the poly up. First coat on the right dash panel piece. Y'all still with me? Anybody still watching? If y'all are just stopping by for a view just now, be sure to go over there to OpenTheGrate. Go follow me on OpenTheGrate. It's where I want to start doing a lot of my lives. And hope y'all are enjoying the little bit of wood stain working we're doing. Putting the poly on this, what I'm going to call and deem tiger blood stain.
Heather Bunch says, yeah, I'm still here, LOL.
There you are. Alright, well, glad to see you're still here. Glad to see you didn't
Heather
leave.
Bunch says, link.
Yeah, link. Thank you for the link. Come on. Link. Getting that poly on there. Like I said, we don't have to be clean with it. It can be kind of messy,
Heather
as you
Bunch
see.
says, posting the link again for new watchers.
There you go. Okay. Well, thank you for posting the link. You know, we're just over the past week, we've been doing really good. Had a lot of interest with folks in this dash build. Appreciate y'all. Over there in the American Truck Simulator community on the DIY rigs. They have a lot of interesting rigs over there where people just kind of go in and make their own simulators, which is really neat. A lot of people help people out over there and show off their builds. Hopefully y'all will enjoy this build. Maybe y'all can do one yourselves. I thought about doing one of these for a real long time. But what finally made me go ahead and do it was I went ahead and broke down and got me this upgraded Moza steering wheel trucking bundle. And man, that thing's pretty awesome. It has the turn signal stalks.
I'm not a good builder, LOL.
It has, that's alright. Just as long as you like, as long as it works, I guess. You don't have to be a good builder as long as it works. As long as it does what functions, I guess you could say. But anyway, that Moza trucking bundle is what led me to really want to go ahead and go this route with the full-size steering wheel that it came with, and the turn signal stalks, just a really nice upgrade all around, I think. All right, now here we are waiting on this one, huh?
Heather Bunch says, it's a nice steering wheel.
It is. It's really nice. I don't want to touch on it right now because I got stain on me, but it's like it's a leather wrapped 15-inch steering wheel with buttons, and it's a quick release steering wheel, so it can, which is pretty neat too. Well, we're just at the waiting point now, y'all. Hopefully that's looking really nice on y'all's end. Back drips back here. That looks really good, y'all. I really think it does. Now remember, we still have a whole nother layer of poly that's going to go on the polyacrylic. We're going to put one more layer on the one that's over there in the streaming room that's kind of drying just a little bit more, and then we'll swap this one out with that one when we go to do that. And then when we're done with that one, we will come back and do the last layer of poly on this. And that's two coats of crimson stain, and that's 2 coats of polyacrylic. Both of those are water-based solids. I guess that'd be the word for it. Mm-hmm.
Heather Bunch says, BRB.
BRB. That's the way I feel about it right now too, BRB. See if I can get this in a spot where I can kind of get both of these over here. Hard to maybe I can get a good view of it here. Yeah, I was trying to get it in a good spot so y'all can see it, but I don't know if I can get a good angle on it. It's worth a try. Let's put it back where it is. that one there. I'll bring this one back over here. I'll put my stool back because that idea didn't work, did it? Alright, so when it's not tacky no more, and this is not tacky at all, we're good to go for our second coat here. At least that's when I say I'm good. The directions may say otherwise, but Impatient West says we're good to go.
Heather Bunch says, okay, I'm back.
Alright. Well, you didn't miss nothing. Just me moving some stuff around. We're going to put the second coat, start with the second coat of this poly. We'll start down here on this end. Like I said, if it drips over the side, no big deal. It's really not. I mean, obviously you don't want to waste a lot, but if it happens, it happens. Keep on trucking. You know what I mean? As you're putting it on, you kind of put yourself in a little bit of an angle because sometimes it does get hard to see where you're currently working. That way you can kind of see, like I said, it gives that blue, that little hint of blue hue to it. And you can see where you've been. This brush almost don't want to fit off in the hole there. Come on. Now, if you're wondering what poly does, if you're not keen on what I'm doing right now, this is basically just the top coat that seals your stain, and it gives it that real glossy look. And at the same time of it doing that, it's going to really bring out that deep, rich color that stain's going to give us. Give us that tiger blood. Kind of like that wet car look. You know, like you ever notice your car looks a little bit darker color and cleaner when it's wet? And that's what this does. It gives it that all the time wet look. Oh, there we go. We got it everywhere. Yep, that's everywhere. Brush that off. Set that there. We're going to put this back in our little plastic hiding spot over here. Now, I usually go a little bit thicker on my second coat because I know I'm not going to have to, I'm not in a rush because I'm not going to be putting on a third coat. I guess I could if I wanted to do a third coat, but I just kind of go a little heavy on that second coat and kind of let it do its thing. This is looking real nice. Once again, once it's done and drying, it should give us that real nice, rich tiger blood look. I'll check on this other one real quick. The other one still has about another 5 minutes worth of set time. I'm gonna step away from the camera for a second and use the restroom, then I'll be back. Alright, I am back. Took me a little bit, I have to wash that off my hands there. Alright, so this is still pretty heavy and thick, so instead of moving it over there, because it's still probably got drip tendency there, we're just going to scoot it over because we got plenty of room here, and we'll set this one there. There we go. Alrighty. This here feels like it is good to go. Flip it back around, facing y'all's direction. This is the bottom, this is the top. Alright, y'all, we're almost done with our second coat on the two panels. We have completely stained and everything. I don't know how long the video's been going. I don't see a timer anywhere in front of me. But anyway, we're just running right along this pretty quickly. Start down here towards y'all. Like I said, I'm going to be kind of I'm not going to be sparing with this. I'll put to you that way. Put it on and keep on rolling. You know what time it is. And we got to kind of be a little thick with it in these bumpy parts right here. This one here, it's hard for me to get this as thick on this piece because there's so many tight areas, thin areas. And all I would basically be doing if I caked it up on my brush, instead of it pulling up on the wood, it would just get cut off on these edges of these cutouts. Almost there. There it is, y'all. We made it. That is the whole piece. That's it, y'all. What do y'all think? This is, like I said, you gotta be careful with this because it will splatter everywhere. Put you something over the top of it, like so. They won't cooperate. All right, I think that got it. There y'all go.
Heather Bunch says, okay, I'm fully back now, LOL.
Fully back, huh? I hear you. It's got a bad glare in it. Let's see if we can get out that glare out of there. I don't think no matter how hard we try, we ain't gonna get that glare out of there. We'll just set it straight back down there.
Heather Bunch says, what did I miss?
Not a whole lot. We just finished, basically. Now we're in the part where we just ask you what you think. Hope you enjoyed the show. Our next video is going to be probably this weekend at some point. Going to be putting these items on the dash itself, and we will be putting all the components in it. I don't know if we'll get to the wiring it up, but we'll definitely be placing all the components in there and getting everything screwed in and our trim around it and everything, and we'll go from there. Be sure to check out OpenTheGrate Facebook page.
Says, oh okay, I like the color, it gives me True Blood vibes, lol, I'm here for it though, lol.
It does. It's definitely blood color. The stripe. That's why I'm still sticking with tiger's blood, because that striping in it just gives it to me that tiger effect of the grain. It looks really good, y'all. I hope y'all enjoy it. I know I'm going to enjoy it, and it's been a fun project. Stay tuned for some more. It's not nowhere near the end. We got a whole lot of work left to do, and I'm glad y'all are part of it as well. If you're just now popping in, seeing them videos, I'm also over there on TikTok. I throw some videos, sneak peeks over there from time to time. You can check that out. Anywhere you see OpenTheGrate, that's OpenTheGrate. Check us out. Until next time, that's going to be it, y'all. I appreciate it.